Well, there's a lot happening from Parliament all the way to the corridors of justice and key events that are being hosted here in the capital and various parts of the country. We have at least gotten a hold of some of those stories and we want to inform you on them. And of course, we'll be also giving you live links from various locations in regards to different events. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Brian Muraru. And let's start from the anniversary tower, where a total of 1,356 Kenyans have been shortlisted for the position of a chairperson and members of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC. According to Dr. Nelson Makanda, the chairperson of the selection panel recruiting the commissioners, 37 individuals have been shortlisted for the position of a chairperson, while another 1,319 have been shortlisted as members. The 37 individuals shortlisted for the position of chairperson comprise of 6 women and 31 men. 3 of the candidates are persons living with disabilities. The road to the reconstitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC 2.5 years later is in top gear, with the selection panel led by Dr. Nelson Makanda underscoring the strong interest Kenyans have shown in running the electoral body ahead of the 2027 polls. Out of the 1,848 Kenyans who applied, 1,356 made the cut, with 492 Kenyans not shortlisted for the position of chair or members of the poll body. The strong interest in the electoral leadership came from Western and Nyanza region. An analysis of the applications received by the 9-member team shows that Homa Bay County topped the list in both submissions for the chairperson and member at 63. It is followed closely by Kisii with 62, Bungoma with 59, and Kakamega with 54. Other leading counties from the region are Siaya with 43, Kisumu 39, Busia 36, Migori 36, Nyamira 35, and Vihiga 34. In the Mount Kenya region, Meru recorded a significant number with 43 applicants. Just like Northeastern's Wajir, which has 37, Trans Nzoia has 36, while Lamu had the lowest number of applicants at just 3, followed by Turkana and Samburu with 7 each. Others are Tharaka Nithi with 8, Nyandarua 8, Nairobi 8, and Laikipia 9. Out of the 1,356 Kenyans shortlisted, 37 individuals have been shortlisted for the position of chairperson, while another 1,319 have been shortlisted for the member positions. The gender breakdown of the applicants revealed that 1,078 were male, representing 80.8%, while 237 were female, accounting for 16% of the total applications. The 37 individuals shortlisted for the chairperson position comprise of 6 women and 31 men. The panel also stated that duplicate applications were recorded for both roles, alongside 91 reference applications and 14 deemed as stray submissions. The reconstitution of the commission follows the exit of the previous commissioners, including the late Wafula Chebukati, who had served as the chairperson, and other senior officials who left after the 2022 general election. The panel is expected to conclude its work by April. Well, of course, it is a story that we're keeping an eye on and will inform you in our subsequent bulletins. Elsewhere, 2 people were arrested on Wednesday evening at the Pulse Lounge LA in Langata, Nairobi County during a Shisha crackdown conducted by the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse. In an operation led by the institution's Director of Compliance and Enforcement, James Koskei, 16 Shisha ports, 11 charcoal boxes and 105 pieces of assorted flavors were seized.
Wednesday evening at the Pulse Lounge LA in Langata, Nairobi County, National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, kicked off their weekly crackdown against Shisha consumption and sale in accordance to the 2017 Gazette Notice on Shisha Rules 292.
Shisha Rules, Gazette Notice 292 of 2017 banned all Shisha in Kenya, whether manufacturing, importation, offering for sale, and all that appertains to Shisha. The courts have given us green light to enforce that rule, and we are here in this particular facility today.
Leading police officers and other NACADA officers, the institution's director, James Koskei, said 2 people were arrested and Shisha products seized.
We were able to get 16 Shisha bongs here, 11 charcoal boxes, 105 pieces of assorted flavors, which we do not even know what ingredients they carry. And we also have 2 suspects that we have managed to get from here. We are going to subject them to before the law. The investigations will begin.
In a bid to eliminate Shisha use in the country, NACADA says the raid escalated to all the 47 counties. Kasi Chanamasha, Lunchtime News.
And in other news, the government, in collaboration with community-led organization and environmental conservationists, has earmarked 1.7 billion shillings to restore degraded land in an initiative dubbed Restore Local in water catchment counties of the Central Rift Valley. Speaking during the initiative's launch, Deputy Director for Africa at the World Resource Institute, Dr. Rebecca Shirley, emphasized that the program will provide critical support to communities and entrepreneurs in revitalizing degraded landscapes. Now, Dr. Rebecca further said that the initiative will also improve livelihoods through grants and loans and help drive the environmental conservation agenda.
WRI has supported, for example, Kenya Forest Service in planting 350,000 trees here in Kiambu County, here in Kinale, and we are really grateful. And beyond that, we are working with the community to do rehabilitation of their lands. We have a lot of soil erosion going on in our land. We are losing nutrients from the soil, and so the yields are going lower every day.
The World Resources Institute is launching the Restore Local initiative. So for those of you who might not be familiar with us, the World Resources Institute is an international scientific organization with offices across the world, basically using the best of data and partnerships to deliver benefits for people, nature and climate.
We restore the landscapes, and especially with the right kind of tree species, indigenous tree species, then you can be able to recharge the underground water, you can be able to control surface runoff and recharge the areas where the waters are coming from.
Still on conservation matters, Environment, Climate Change and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Aden Douale has assured citizens that the state, in partnership with the French government, is fully committed to contain wildfires that have consumed hectares of forest land across the country. Now, speaking during the flagging off of firefighting vehicles and equipment at the Kenya Forest Service headquarters, the Environment Cabinet Secretary, that is Douale, assured citizens that the partnership with the French government is fully committed to contain wildfires that have, of course, spread in various parts of the country. So far, about 1,500 hectares of forest have been affected by wildfires in 231 incidents across the country in the last 2 years.
For the last 2 years, the country has experienced wildfires that have affected several forests across the country, with the latest incident affecting grazing lands in Isiolo. To deal with these challenges, the state has set up emergency teams who will use drones in detecting wildfires and report the same to the command center at the Kenya Forest Service headquarters in Kiambu. Speaking during the flagging off of firefighting vehicles and equipment at the Kenya Forest Service headquarters in Kiambu, Environment Cabinet Secretary Aden Douale assured citizens that the state, in partnership with the French government, is fully committed to safeguarding forests from wildfires across the country.
So we are pleased with the equipment, the training, and the execution of this project, which has enabled Kenya Forest Service to successfully suppress wildfires in many of our community grazing areas. Apart from this equipment, we also have the drones that we shall be using to detect any illegal activity going on in any of our forests going forward.
The CS says these measures are part of the two nations' commitment to safeguarding forests across the country.
And we have a program to upscale this program to the second phase so that it covers all our forests in our country.
KFS therefore commits to harness the power of technology to protect forests, safeguard livelihoods, and mitigate the impact of climate change.
The CS further cautioned that action would be taken against anyone found responsible of reckless fire lighting in the forest. On his part, Deputy French Ambassador to Kenya, Raoud Sequet, expressed his country's commitment to Kenyan government to achieve its development agenda.
This project is very important for us because it translates into a concrete reality what we can do together to fight the global warming.
So far, about 1,500 hectares of forests have been affected by wildfires in 231 incidents across the country in the last 2 years.
Now, as the world marks International Women's Day under the theme Accelerate Action, women have been urged to take bold steps in entrepreneurship, leadership and advocacy for gender equality. Speaking in Nairobi, Care International Country Director Helen Owiti called for the enactment of policies that improve access to credit for women, strengthen laws against gender-based violence and promote equal pay. She, however, urged the government to invest in more education and vocational training for women to create more opportunities.
We need to appreciate the women who are ahead of us. They paved the way. They broke some ceiling, and for us, we need to push forward and create a path for the women who are coming after us. And we don't need to hold it back. Your voice is your power.
I want to encourage the young women and tell them that they are in a good space because they are coming at a time when there are so many barriers that have already been broken. I think the most important thing is for us to make sure that we never go back to where we've come from, that we keep those doors open.
So we've had very many organizations, around 120 women rights organizations in the country that are not only able to raise their funding right now, but are also attracting funding directly from donors.
Financial inclusion has been cited as a key element in achieving long-term economic independence for persons with disabilities. Experts in the sector say that an inclusive financial system affords PWDs an equal opportunity to thrive. They made the remarks at a forum in Nairobi County that brought together the International Commission of Jurists (ICJ) and the United Disabled Persons of Kenya.
In a world striving for equal opportunities, PWDs continue to face challenges in accessing financial services.
We've come together as persons with disabilities, persons with different types of disabilities, to discuss the experiences that we have had with different banks, local banks, while accessing financial services.
Lack of accessible banking infrastructure was mentioned as the biggest barrier.
I was in a certain bank ATM, and since it was high, the ATM card was swallowed. Now I had to follow up to get another ATM card. And the person I found, she asked me, why have this card and you are unable to use it?
While progress is being made with some institutions incorporating voice assistants, digital wallets and accessible customer service options, more work needs to be done.
You know, one of the key areas that for us we are really advocating for and cannot stress enough is the fact that, you know, financial institutions need to recognize reasonable accommodation as a right to including persons with diverse disabilities in terms of how they deliver their services and even offer financial products to persons with disabilities.
Experts say financial inclusion is not just about accessibility, but also fostering long-term economic independence for PWDs. Doreen Arange for Lunchtime News.
Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi has called for an audit of county health workforce amid alarming salary expenditure that exceed 4 billion shillings annually. The governor has now tasked the newly appointed hospital boards in 123 health facilities to collaborate with the county public service department in reviewing payrolls. The review will include a physical head count of healthcare workers and support staff to ensure accuracy and accountability.
Wages, 4.1 billion is only for health services, health facilities, not to buy the drugs, not to buy any other supply, to pay workers. 4.1 billion is from the health department only. And this is a major issue to me. Because if you look at what would you say you find as the levels of satisfaction and how many people on average would you be paying in those facilities to consume the 4.1 billion, you find that that mathematics doesn't add up. So what am I saying? I have my proposal and a request that I want to make to the board. We can't win this thing until and unless you make it your responsibility as our board of management to review those wage bills.
A section of residents from Rachonyo North in Homa Bay County have taken it upon themselves to safeguard the area from the effects of flooding. The residents cite neglect by local leaders after facing repeated displacement and destruction during the rainy season. Details on this and other stories making headlines is in our county's news roundup.
Season fast approaching, residents in Rachonyo North in Homa Bay County have been working tirelessly using shovels and hose to carve out deep trenches. The community-driven initiative aims to create flood barriers that will safeguard homes and livelihoods from potential devastation.
Mashamba hatuwezi kulima na hatuwezi tukavuna kwa sababu ya maji. Kila mwaka tunapata mafuriko na haya mafuriko yanatufanya tuhame katika manyumba zetu na manyumba inabomoka inaanguka chini. Njia ya kujenga kila mwaka nayo tumeshindwa. Sasa tuko katika shida tu. Sasa tunajaribu, tunatumia mikono yetu kufungua haya maji lakini hatuna uwezo.
In Isiolo County, Muslim youths have launched a food relief initiative to support over 2,000 residents observing the holy month of Ramadan and who are facing food insecurity.
If we get enough support or enough resources, or we get enough people come on board and try to give us more support, we will go beyond Isiolo.
We also have another approach, an upcoming one, which is called the food caravan. This food caravan will be walking door to door, we'll go to houses and pick whatever you will give to us so as to at least have something to feed to the poor during that critical time of the holy month of Ramadan.
Elsewhere, Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti has called on professionals across all fields to uphold their work ethics and maintain the standards of their respective professions.
The accounting profession in this country, and especially in the public sector, is facing critical tests. I therefore call upon accountants, especially in the public sector, to make the work of your bosses easier by being meticulous in your tasks.
Meanwhile, Nairobi County Government, in collaboration with Embakasi Ward Member of County Assembly Richard Nyantika, have urged the residents of Tasia to embrace a proper road network in the slums to allow easy access for fire engines whenever disasters occur. The fire tragedy victims received donations, including mattresses, blankets, and food, among other items.
Iko project ya barabara inakuja hapa karibu. Sawa sawa? Na itapewa vijana wa Tasia waangalie hiyo maneno yake, si ndio? Tunawaomba mkiwa huko chini, acha kublock barabara. Na mkiona sisi tunakuja kufanya development, acha maneno ya kubishana na kuleta siasa mingi. Kwa sababu hiyo kijiji hapo ndio mnaishi. Watu wenye wanateseka ni nyinyi. Moto ikiingilia hapo si nyinyi ndio mnaona ugumu.
Finally, the county government of Elgeyo Marakwet, in collaboration with the Cereals Growers Association, has signed a partnership agreement aimed at improving food security and nutrition with a focus on small-scale farmers in the region.
And as you can see today, this farm also has got products that they're selling in the market. We have seen strawberry, we have seen gooseberries and other things. And as CGA, we have tried to work with the smallholder farmers through what we call the farmer service centers. And we are trying to structure the market so that farmers can be able to grow, but then get to know the market for whatever they grow.
Elsewhere, a non-governmental organization from the United States of America and a Kenyan organization have partnered to help the less fortunate in the rural parts of Kenya. Speaking during a charity event in Nyamira County, the philanthropist called upon Kenyans to embrace the spirit of giving and share with the less fortunate in the society to reduce the gap between the poor and the rich.
A non-governmental organization, Upendo 318 from the United States of America, has partnered with their local organization, Serve to Empower Africa to Uplift Lives.
And our goal is empowerment and giving the families dignity. Mary is the essence of empowerment. When we first came here, we saw Mary working so hard.
Part of what we do is with the families is to connect them with an economic activity that helps them to generate an income.
According to the founders, helping out to the less privileged will go a long way in bringing equality to the society.
Nikakuja kwa boma, bibi nikamwambia mimi maneno ya pombe nimeacha. Bibi anafurahi, anapikia sasa nyumba. Hapo beleni alikuwa anapikia nje na sasa mtoto wangu ako shule nzuri, ng'ombe nakamua, kuku niko nazo. Sasa nafurahi sana na Serve to Empower Africa wamenitoa bali. Sasa naombea Mungu na yeye azidi kuwabariki.
Walinianzia na watoto yangu wangeweza kwenda kwa shule, mpaka walikuwa naenda wanarudi nyumbani wanakaa kama 1 week kabla hajaenda shule. Sasa wakatai kwenda shule, wanakaa mpaka kwa shule sasa.
A family with 3 able different children could not hide their joy as the philanthropists visited their home to check on their progress.
Tunataka kuona hii watoto yako, wakaona watoto, wakaenda, ndio walirudi wakakuja. Kwa hivyo mimi nafurahi sana kwa hii kikundi. Hii sawa. Inanisaidia sawa. Sababu hata dawa ya mtoto huyo haongei. Wananinunulia.
As for us, our hope is that God will put us right with him, and this is what we wait for by the power of God.
4 counties, Nyandarua, Kiambu, Nanyuki and Nakuru, have benefited with the organization in plans at advanced stage to reach to more counties in Kenya.
And we have the confidence that we are empowering the people that we serve. I've seen amazing transformation in all the people that we serve. So we continue to plan for every year to include 5 families, 10 families, whatever the needs are. We plan to continue to support the families if they have specific needs. We continue to pray that we can partner with C for a long time.
So what I would encourage people is to really support the work that we are doing, because there are many needy families, and unless we have resources, many of those families will never be reached.
Ruth Wamboi for Lunchtime News.
Kenyan businesses have been urged to leverage on opportunities present in China Import and Export Fair Canton to source for quality goods, explore new markets and strengthen trade relations with China. Speaking at a forum in Nairobi that brought together stakeholders in the trade industry, Ronald Meru, chairperson, Trade and Economic Diplomacy at Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, says the fair will offer Kenyan businesses direct access to global suppliers. The Canton Fair is one of the oldest trade fairs held twice every year. The fair is set to take place in Guangzhou, China, between between April 15th to May 5th, 2025.
Transfer that is going to be showcased there in China.
During the Canton Fair, they'll be able to see different products in different phases based on their interests.
To fostering trade and investment between our two nations, through platforms like the Canton Fair, we aim to support Kenyan businesses in expanding their access to high-quality goods, technologies, and expertise.
We see opportunities to collaborate
And on the political front, Busia Governor Paul Otuoma has called on ODM leader Raila Amolo Odinga to prioritize the political and economic stability of the entire country as he embarks on consultations before announcing his next political move. Speaking during the third Busia County address at the County Assembly plenary, Otuoma emphasized the importance of fostering a peaceful political environment and ensure economic stability for all Kenyans.
We expect Kenyan nation to be preserved. We expect that the economic hardships that our people are facing, even as we form a broad-based government, must be addressed. We expect those things that have been done extrajudicially must stop.
A commissioner at the Commission's Own Revenue Authority, Hadija Nganyi, has raised concerns over the high numbers of students missing out on scholarship opportunities abroad due to lack of essential identification documents such as passports and national identity cards. Speaking in Navaholo constituency, Kakamega County, where she distributed cooking equipments, chairs, tents and chips-making machines to Muslim women's groups, Nganyi urged parents to ensure their children acquire the essential documents, emphasizing that passports will enable students to access fully funded scholarships in foreign countries.
Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kuwaomba, scholarship zipo. Scholarship zipo. Akina mama mnasikia? Scholarship zipo. Na scholarship ni ile kitu mtoto akienda kusoma mama haulipi hata shilingi moja. Lakini kuna vitu lazima mtoto awe nayo. Kitu ya kwanza ni kitambulisho. Omwana na mala form 4, tafadhali hakikisha amechukua kitambulisho, akona kitambulisho. Tafadhali hakikisha mtoto akona birth certificate, akonayo. Tafadhali hakikisha mtoto akona passport. Kwa hivyo siku hizi passport imekuwa ni kama kitambulisho. Tafadhalini wazazi, tuchukulie watoto wetu passport.
It is exactly 30 minutes past the hour. We need to take our first breather. Don't go too far. We still have more news for you on the other side.
Inua jamii karibu nawe kwa haraka na urahisi. Kwa sasa, malipo ya Inua Jamii yanapatikana moja kwa moja kupitia simu ya mkononi. Ikiwa wewe ni mmoja wa wanaopokea fedha hizi, hakikisha laini yako ina huduma ya pesa mkononi. Iwapo huna laini ya simu ya mkononi, tembelea duka la Safaricom au ajenti wa M-Pesa aliye karibu nawe ili usajiliwe kwa ada ya shilingi 100. Inua Jamii ni mradi wa fedha wa serikali unaolenga Wakenya walio na umri wa miaka 70 na zaidi, watoto yatima na watoto wanaoishi katika mazingira magumu na watu wenye ulemavu sugu, kwa kuwapa malipo ya kila mwezi. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako kwa niaba ya Wizara ya Leba na Huduma za Jamii.
Do you work in that company Umesikia mimi akisema mimi anafanya kazi wapi?
Si amesema ni askari na ukamuita vizuri askari.
Nimeuliza.
Nakwambia.
Hiyo 1 million ni yako. Utajua ujui. Hata wewe utajua ujui. Tuone nani atafaa suruali kwa kichwa. Kama tajiri yetu wewe kama vile ulikuwa tajiri yetu. Ndio. Ulikuwa umeweka limit ya mtu kuchukua loan ya pesa ngapi?
Hakuna limit umeweka.
Sema kweli.
Haujawekewa limit.
Sema kweli ndugu yangu.
I'm not the company is not a member.
How did I get in the circle? That you're saying me I was not in the circle.
Wewe mwenyewe uliingia kwa circle, mimi circle. Na ukakuwa unasema.
So circle it was yours or circle it was for somebody else?
Wewe. Sikiza.
Nitakuloka mama kichwa hiyo.
Kwani urogi yako inaroga hata hewa?
Chunga mtamo mama.
Wewe chunga yako.
Wewe.
Sawa.
Alex, kwani kuna shida?
Hata ni bahati dada alikuwa na accomplice.
Kwa hivyo babako ni muuaji. Next time usiniambie ujinga kama hauna evidence enough, sawa? Na huu mkora Alex alimtoa wapi? All I need ni pesa tu kiasi, niko chini. Toka!
Alex, sasa ni nini?
Unajua hata kuna kitu nilikotaka tuongee. Lakini
Jackie.
Laki naomba msamaha.
Ile kitu ningekufanyia wewe ungesahau.
Ni shetani.
na si umetaja hiyo jina sana na akikamapa utadu.
Sasa kuna deal imeivana hapa, deal ya gold. Bado hujaniambia kwa nini umeniita hapa. Na kuna idea poa sana nataka kukuambia.
You know, there is one way we'll counter my uncle.
Which is?
Just get me pregnant, Alex.
Kai. Kamdingo kapienga.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now to the courts. For serving and former Nyamira County government officers have been arraigned in court over allegations of unlawful staff appointments and forgery of official documents. The officers arrested by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission (EACC) face charges relating to misuse of their authority within the Department of Youth, Gender, Sports, Culture and Social Services between June and November 2016. Appearing before Nyamira Chief Magistrate Bernard Ochieng, the accused pleaded not guilty to the charges, which also include uttering false documents. They were released on a cash bail or bond of 200,000 shillings on an alternative surety of 500,000 shillings. The case will be mentioned again on March 7th, 2025.
I hereby order that accused can be released on bond of 500,000 and surety of the same amount, or cash or bail of 200,000 shillings each.
And now to the coast, where insecurity in Kilifi, where local leaders from Kilifi County are rallying behind youth empowerment initiatives to curb rising crime rates in Nyamira County. Leading the charge, Kilifi County Governor Gideon Mung'aro has urged young people to join organized groups to access sponsorships and development opportunities, emphasizing that unemployment should not be an excuse for crime. Speaking at a funding handover ceremony for Boda Boda groups and widowed mothers, Mung'aro pledged to create employment opportunities through the Nyamira County municipality. The governor's sentiments were echoed by Kaloleni MP Paul Katana, who stressed the need for unity in tackling insecurity. Meanwhile, Nyamira County Police Chief Titus Mwaya reassured residents of their safety, encouraging them to report crimes without fear.
Nauliza vijana pia, tafadhalini, najua mna matatizo mengi, lakini upanga hautawasaidia kutatua matatizo. Tutajaribu kuweka mikakati hapo kwa manuspaa. Hivi karibuni kutakuwa na vinafasi kidogo, vijana wachache watachukuliwa, wengine watapata vitu zingine, wengine tutawasaidia na pesa za biashara za uwezesha, ili kila mtu aweze kufanya kitu. Na nyinyi wa sako, mwingie kwa sako.
Wale ambao hawajajiunga wajiunge. Katika miungano kuna faida. Hao bodaboda hawa wana pesa nyingi sana hapa.
Wazazi lazima tukubaliane jambo moja hapa mchana leo. Usalama si wa DC, si wa governor, si wa mbunge, si wa polisi.
usalama ni wetu sisi sote. Wale vijana wanasumbua Marekani ni wetu ama ni tunakuja? Na nyinyi wazazi, vijana wakishiba watu wa kwanza kunipigia simu ni mimi, mtoto wangu ameshikwa kwa makosa. Bwana DC, wewe ndio mwenyekiti wa usalama ndani ya Kaloleni. Fagia mtu yoyote ambaye analeta kuwa hakuna usalama ndani ya.
Sisi tumepeana nafasi, station yetu imefunguliwa masaa yote, kuja tushirikiane. Kwa saa hii nimeweka askari wengi na wengine wanawajua. Watu wa bodaboda na washukuru, tunashirikiana sana.
Still at the Coast General Teaching and Referral Hospital has received a facelift following the renovation of emergency department under the Adopt and ED initiative. The initiative is a transformative program aimed at equipping and standardizing public emergency departments. Speaking at the launch, Mombasa Governor Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir reiterated his commitment to strengthening healthcare services through the provision timely and quality emergency care as well as personnel. The project, which commenced on 2nd September 2024 and concluded on the 18th of February 2025, was implemented in partnership with the Emergency Medicine Kenya Foundation. The department received 15 cardiac monitors, 4 vital sign monitors, 21 modern ED patient stretchers, and a medical refrigerator, among other critical resources.
Tutaanza kuafikiana kujua wale wafanyikazi, manasi, madaktari, clinical officers, wote wenye kuhitajika, na sio wa Coast General peke yake, wa Mombasa nzima wataanza kuajiriwa na serikali yao ya kaunti ya Mombasa, kwa sababu hakuna faida ya kuwa na vifaa vote hivi kama hatuna madaktari. Kile ambacho kwamba hatutoweza kwenda hivi wala hivi ni wagonjwa wakija hapa nije kusikia ya kuwa wamefanyiwa ujeuri, watu wamefanyiwa ukosefu wa heshima kwa sababu ni mtu ambaye kwamba ni mlala hoi, hajiwezi. Ujue gavana wake yajiweza na gavana wake ana uwezo wa kudili na nyinyi.
Water scarcity has been a long-standing challenge for the residents of Mohobola village in Busia County. However, relief has finally come their way after the county government installed a solar-powered water project. Anastasia Obala, a resident and a fish trader, said the water project has changed their lives as they no longer have to walk for long distances to fetch water. She also said cases of waterborne diseases have reduced as they have access to clean water.
Haya maji kitambo ya kuje kwa hospitali imetusaidia kwa community. Watu wamechukua maji, ni wengi wako na maji safi. Kila boma, kila mtaa uko na maji.
The water projects, this water has really helped us because before the project came, we were having difficulties in water, in getting the water, because at times, sometimes we will go even without water at the facility. But since the water project came in, for now we are just having water 24 hours. There's no shortage. Again, the water system has helped because even the community now, they are getting clean water.
A police officer from Machakos Police Station has taken the initiative of educating the community on matters of environmental conservation to help in the fight against climate change. Julius Mwenda, through an innovative idea, created a waste incineration tool that burns waste without emitting harmful gases. Through his efforts, Mwenda has bagged the award both locally and internationally. Together with his colleagues, Mwendwa continues to be involved in planting trees, collecting waste and burning it through the modern waste incinerator.
I was awarded the Environmentalist of the Year, and also we participated in the contest of innovation in climate action. That's where now we started we started this innovation of smokeless incinerator. I was awarded the Entrepreneur of the Year in the same contest. I was also the Outstanding Entrepreneur of the Year. We are now combining effort in the reduction of carbon.
And now welcome to the world of business. Private sector has been urged to prioritize diversity in their corporate structures by implementing gender-friendly workplace policies, developing investment products tailored for women, reporting diversity objectivities and shareholders, and increasing the number of women in leadership to boost participation of women in the finance sector.
The absence of family-friendly policies like childcare, parental leave, flexible work arrangements, mentoring and training in many organizations limit women's professional aspirations and even the ability to balance between work and family. Addressing these challenges require a multi-pronged approach to tweak policy reforms, strengthen corporate accountability, and improve community engagement.
At the same time, we've seen recent policy shifts that are presenting us with a more complex landscape for sustainability commitments. While these developments introduce uncertainties, they do not diminish the imperative for responsible business action on gender equality. We see issues of discrimination and equality becoming increasingly politicized. We stand here today to affirm the core values of equality, fairness, and respect as foundational to responsible business practices.
Dear partner, I call on you to build and strengthen our economies by investing in people, dismantling barriers and integrating social development into every economic strategy.
Stationery manufacturer KenAfric has announced its expansion into the East African stationery market following the acquisition of Economic Industries Limited. The acquisition, which received unconditional approval from the Competition Authority of Kenya, makes KenAfric one of Kenya's largest stationery manufacturers, significantly strengthening its market position.
Kenya's stationery market is projected to grow by 3.6% over the next 5 years, driven by government initiatives to improve education standards, enhance textbook access, and support children affected by poverty. Following the acquisition of Economic Industries Limited, KenAfric plans to use its extensive distribution network to introduce stationery products into Tanzania, Uganda, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The products that Economic produces locally are not sent across East Africa. With KenAfric's network across East Africa, we envision to take these products into the broader East African markets.
KenAfric Group CEO Mikul Shah says the goal is to scale production, lower costs, and offer consumers better prices while expanding access to quality stationery across East Africa.
And they're very much locally focused. We were very much export focused, and we had different product range that came together to produce a good synergy, and that's what brought us together.
Shah says by bringing their operations together, the two companies create a synergy that allows for increased production capacity, product diversification, and cost efficiencies. Following the merger, Bhavesh Shah, the former managing director of Economic Industries Limited, has been appointed managing director, Stationery Division at KenAfric Manufacturing Limited. Betty Kiptum, Lunchtime News.
Organizations should establish comprehensive, secure channels for reporting concerns of financial mismanagement internally and externally. Institute of Internal Auditors CEO Dr. Joyce Omina says this proactive approach helps identify problems early and fosters trust among employees, enhancing overall organizational health.
Amid the ongoing issues plaguing the Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives, KUSCO, stakeholders in the audit sector have raised concerns on how to safeguard organizations from financial irregularities. Institute of Internal Auditors CEO Dr. Joyce Omena says there is a need to promote independence of internal auditors from the departments they are auditing to ensure objectivity.
Their positioning in the organizations, they need to be at a level where they cannot be intimidated, they can report independently, and given the powers that they deserve in order to raise these issues, and then they can be addressed even at the public level.
Companies have also been urged to adopt the zero-fault audit regime, which promotes international best practices to reinforce good governance, integrity, accountability, and transparency.
The Institute, together with PSSB, have done a lot of sensitization at internal audit level and at board audit committee levels to sensitize the members on the new global internal audit standards and their different mandates, including senior management on their role in internal audit in terms of closing internal audit issues and following up on recommendations.
This comes as the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board, in collaboration with the Institute of Internal Auditors, unveiled the Internal Audit and Risk Awards 2025. The award seeks to recognize excellence in internal audit and risk management in the public sector while promoting compliance with the latest internal audit standards. Nduta Mokami for Lunchtime News.
Communities around the Konza Technopolis have been encouraged to take advantage of the initial investment and education opportunities now available following the completion of the horizontal infrastructure for the first phase. Leaders are urging residents from Machakos, Kajiado and Makueni to strategically position themselves to fully benefit from the opportunities created by the development of Konza Technopolis.
Tunaomba timu yetu ya ngao tufanye kazi pamoja ndio hii outreach ifikie watu wetu vizuri, hii outreach ifikie kila kona ya hii area yetu na hii pia ikuwe ya manufaa kwa watu wetu wote. This will come from the partnerships that we are building locally na the partnerships zenye tutatengeneza na watu wetu kutoka nje ya Kenya, kutoka Korea, kutoka China, kutoka Europe, America, and at least we get the best of the opportunities that the community needs through Kenya East.
Sisi ni kama ambassadors kwenda kueleza wananchi waangalie hizi opportunities, wasije wakasema opportunities za hapa Konza zimenyakuliwa na watu wa nje. Wao wawe mstari wa mbele kuhakikisha wanafunzi wetu wa hapa sehemu za Makueni na counties zile 3 ambazo zina border Konza City zinaweza kupata wanafunzi wengi, wawe wa kwanza. Na opportunities za kibiashara, za mambo mengi ambayo yatafanyika hapa, nafikiri this will be a world of its own.
And on the international front, China has achieved a new progress in independent development of advanced aircraft engines with 3 new models to undergo maiden flight and obtain production certification this year. The chief engineer Shan Jiaoming says the 3 new models of aero engines to undergo maiden flight this year are AES 100 and the AES 20 and the AEP 100.
The AES 100 and the AES 20 are advanced civil turboshaft engine independently developed by China. They are mainly used on civil helicopters deployed in multiple fields, including agriculture and forestry, plant protection, air monitoring, and traffic supervision. An AEP 100 engine that can be installed on drones with a takeoff weight of 3 to 10 tons will also undergo its first flight this year, and its overall performance has met the advanced technological levels of the same grade aero engines developed by other countries. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump said he will temporarily spare car makers from a new 25% import tax imposed on Canada and Mexico just a day after the tariffs came into effect. The new tariffs, which are a tax applied as goods enter the country, were poised to disrupt a third of car production in North America within a week, according to analysts at S&P Global Mobility. Shares in Ford were up by more than 5% after the announcement, while General Motors shares rose more than 7%. Stellantis shares in the United States rose more than 9%. Ford said in a statement the company will continue to have a healthy and candid dialogue with the administration and touted its investment of billions in the United States. Finally, Microsoft has walked away from some of its commitments with cloud computing provider CoreWeave in a significant blow to a company seeking to launch a blockbuster £35 billion initial public offering next month. However, Microsoft has withdrawn from some of its agreements over delivery issues and missed deadlines, according to people with knowledge of the matter. Microsoft has agreed to spend more than $10 billion on CoreWeave services by 2030 under 5 contracts between the two companies. Deals with Microsoft represented 62% of CoreWeave's total revenues last year, according to public disclosures.
Of Sports, World Athletics President Sebastian Coe reaffirmed the Federation's support for Kenya in the fight against age cheating. Speaking at the Athletics Kenya yesterday, Coe clarified that Kenya will remain classified in Category A of countries that are closely monitored by Athletics Integrity Unit owing to its large number of athletes competing in international championship. Coe said that all age cheating cases being investigated by the Athletics Kenya will be punished once the names of the offenders are forwarded to the World Athletics. Meanwhile, Coe is confident of being elected as the next International Olympic Committee president in the election set for 16th of March.
There was age manipulation. We created 2 working groups at the same time, age manipulation and results manipulation. And both of those are absolutely essential to the integrity of the sport. And we will continue down that road. I'll pause for a moment and let Jackson answer the specific one at a local level. But we are very, very clear that we need. This is about integrity. You cannot have in our age group competitions athletes that are either competing unknown about their age or competing with falsified documentation.
Kenya's junior starlets left the country today morning for Uganda just a day ahead after head coach Mildred Cheche named her squad for the first FIFA Under-17 Women World Cup second-round qualifier against Uganda. The squad features a mix of fresh talents and some familiar faces from the previous qualification campaign, including Captain Halima Imbachi, Michelle Waithera, Lorraine Ivalonga, Genevieve Mithel and Lindy Wee. Fresh from their historic World Cup debut in the Dominican Republic, the team is eager to build on that experience and secure an early advantage in the two-legged tie. The first leg will be played this Saturday at the Nakivubo Stadium, while the second leg is set for Nairobi on the 16th of March. The winner of the two-legged tie will advance to the third round of the qualification campaign.
Faster!
Now, Gor Mahia moved up to third position on the FKF Premier League table after coming from behind to beat Kariobangi Sharks 3-1 last evening. Gor Mahia, who have a game in hand, are now third on 39 points, 3 points behind the leaders Kenya Police and 2 points behind second place Tusker AFC.
Fullback kwa timu ya Ogopa, lakini unaangalia daraja ile timu na timu ya Kariobangi Sharks unaona utofauti mkubwa. Jaribu kununua pass kwake Idi sasa. Sio kuwa amefunga Ramadhani peke yake, anafunga paka Kogalo. Sasa wanamkaba wawili. Ochoga, Paul imepigwa pembeni kwake Samuel Onyango. Anayo Onyango Samuel, anaileta ndani huku kichwa cha kwanza. Napata! Alpha Chris Onyango. Fimbo imeingia msituni. Austin! Amerudi na ameendelea alipoachia. Austin Odhiambo sio wa kwanza. Wameteswa wengi namna hii. Wamevunjika mbavu wengi namna hii. Austin! Mzigo hauwezi kuwa mzito ukibebwa na watu wengi. Mashabiki wa Kogalo ni wengi. Mzigo wao wameubeba, wanauweza wenyewe. Ni mwendo furaha tu. Anataka kurudi.
Well, there were more results in the UEFA Champions League. Just quickly, Feyenoord were beaten 2-0 by Inter Milan. Paris Saint-Germain lost to Liverpool 1-0. Bayern Munich thrashed Bayern Leverkusen 3-0. And finally, Benfica were beaten by 10-man Barcelona 1-0. And of course, tonight it will be the Europa League. We'll be continuing with a round of 16. And of course, Manchester United will be traveling to Real Sociedad, and we wish them all the best. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom of the screen is Brian Muraru. Good afternoon for now.
They are building both technologies and communities around assistive technology.
Having braille phrases that they can actually read, and then also having tactile prints that they are able to touch and feel, with their hands.
Nimekuwa for the longest time niko na passion ya fashion and design, so nimekuwa tu eager kujua, nataka kujifunza kushona nguo, nijue venye zinashona. 'Cause we're differently.
We were going to tell you. We were drunk that day.
Damn you, Liang Shanshan. Don't show off your love around me. At least, give me some time to get used to it.
They got together. Huh? They're dating? Keep quiet. Just throw in the headphones. She won't hear us. You think it's true? Of course it's true.
And if I hadn't asked? If I didn't find out, did you plan to keep it from me forever?
You must be Pamela, right?
It is Mrs. Kaikara to you.
Let me prepare something small for you.
Thank you. I'm well staffed. Hiyo itatupunguzia hasara.
You make a very good cop. Najua hujakuja tu kunicongratulate. These people are watching each and every move that you're making. Uchunge sana usisleep wewe.
Watu na waelewa. I forgot all about life.